If you're tuning in, I'm joined here with Dana Eichenhorst. Dana is a former student of mine. Spent 2 years with me in high school, his junior and senior year in the welding and metal fabrication program at Laurel Oaks, part of the Great Oaks District in Cincinnati, Ohio. I've told stories about Dana on social media. He's just was a phenomenal student. He's carried that over into his professional life. He's a 26-year-old steel superintendent for Landmark Structures, builds giant water towers. Man, it's no secret, Dana, that I'm extremely proud of you, kid. And I can't wait for the rest of the world to hear your story, buddy. So let's get started with that. Tell me about young Dana, life at Clinton Massey High School in Clarksville, Ohio. Tell me about life in traditional school, what you gravitated towards. Was it that shop class, man? Did it catch your eye? And then how did you gravitate and make your way into career in technical education?
So of course it did start off with being at Clinton Massey. I mean, it's a little small small town school right there, middle of cornfield. So growing up, just being on the farm and whatnot, going back and forth. I never really thought I'd ever really get into it. I played a lot of baseball. I traveled the countryside, as many know, and I was actually going to go into college baseball and look on further past that. But I wasn't a huge fan of the academic stuff. I'm more of a hands-on. The welding thing, it was in Clinton Massey. We had a little shop class. Started
Mhm.
off there, and then right from there, decided to go there to Laurel Oaks. Once I went there, just obviously meeting you, Wolf, as an instructor, we hit it off very well.
For
And
sure.
getting into it, it was easier for me. I absolutely loved it. The hands-on, just being able to have somebody as great as you to teach me. That's where I grasped it. I mean, that was my favorite thing, man. And then, of course, obviously leading right on up to this, I just took that right with me, and you see where I'm at now.
Yeah. So let's talk about that experience because you're young in the sense that you're really relative to a lot of who I want to target in this podcast. You got a lot of people out there doing podcasts about skilled trades, and they do a lot of business to business podcasts. Well, that's not where I want to be. I want to be in the trenches. I want to get to the youth in this country. I want to inspire them through people like you to pursue careers and opportunities in the trades. So, talk to me a little bit about what was it like leaving a school that you've been your entire life at, right? Clinton Massey, I'm assuming you went there your whole life.
My whole life, yeah.
Yeah. So, what was it like leaving there and going to a place like Laurel Oaks where literally you had kids from 10 different schools around you, some of them way bigger than little Clinton Massey? What
Oh
was
yeah.
it like making that transition?
I'll be honest, it was scary at first. I mean, I had a few small town school friends that decided to, join the trades as well. And we
Mhm.
all thought the same thing. We're like you just said, we had 10 different schools coming in there. But in all honesty, I grew up obviously when kindergarten all the way up till my freshman sophomore year. I had all those friends where small town, whatever, but it's like I made better friends at Laurel Oaks themselves, at Laurel Oaks, than I actually had lifetime friends right there at Clinton Massey. So biggest thing, it was scary to me.
Yeah. Do you think that was because you shared like a common interest? Do you think that's why you got so long or you got along so well with the people at Laurel Oaks?
Yeah, every bit, and that's the thing. Everybody, we used to hear it all the time. Oh, you're going to go to a career center. You don't need to do that. That's just for low lifes and this
Yeah,
and that.
right.
But in all honesty, it wasn't even like that. I made more friends at Laurel Oaks themselves, like I said, than I did at my previous school. And we all hit it off, like you just said, similar interests. We all got along so dang well. It was easy. I enjoyed coming to school, as in, like I said, hands-on experience. That was my biggest thing. I just got along with it so dang well rather than being going through middle school and high school at my own place.
So was that something were you excited to go to school at your home school?
At homeschool, no, I never
No.
even wanted to go back after that.
So this was
That
something
career.
new for you. It's probably something new for you, new for your parents. It's like, whoa, Dana actually wants to go to school now. All right.
Yep.
Yep.
Every bit, and once they realized that too, they were excited and ecstatic for me to be going there, and
I'll bet.
there again, learning and being at such a high level of, you as an instructor, it just made it so much more easier because I had so much to look forward to. You
That's
showed
awesome, man.
us so much, yeah.
Well, and that's a story that you hear time and time again is that, my kid just wasn't interested in school until he ended up there. And
Yep.
we couldn't be more thankful. And that's not something I did, man. That's the environment that's there. That's the idea that you're working towards something that's going to be valued in the future. The easiest sell that I have to a student, Dana, is looking at them and saying, hey, what are you going to learn your last 2 years in high school that's going to change your life forever if you stay at your home school? Let me show you how I can change your life forever in just 2 years. Those last 2 years, take advantage of them. No money out of your pocket. Good
Nope.
instruction, decent instruction, I guess. Good instruction and opportunity. You know, eh, to the kids listening now, Dana, what's your advice? Is this something? I mean, obviously, I'm not going to sit here and say that I want everybody to go to trade school. I'm not going to say that I want everybody to go to college. What's your advice for that kid listening right now, kind of on the fence? Should I stay at my home school or should I make that dive and go to a local career center?
My best advice is just take it further than what you ever expected yourself to be. You have a dream of going to do something, whether it's pipeline, industrial, anything. You can take it there
Yeah.
yourself. You have to have the biggest thing I think nowadays is initiative. Kids, they don't want to take that extra step because they're scared. They're scared of their friends. They're scared of what their friends are doing. And I think you gotta once you break out of that and you realize you can do a lot individually as a person, you can go as far as you want.
Yeah. So let me ask you, what was your most memorable moment from your experience at Laurel Oaks? If you had to give me one, what would it have been? And make it something that the entire world can hear, not something that happened in a locker room or anything stupid.
Yeah, nothing crazy. No, my most memorable was honestly when we all got together. I believe it was Thanksgiving, and we used to let us build whatever we wanted. And I remember we
Mhm.
used to build those rocket stoves. Man, just being together in a classroom full of like-minded people,
Yeah.
men and women. It doesn't just have to be all of us men. That was my most enjoyable to be able to sit in there and have the laughs and the memories that we made of cooking, whatever it may be. I remember we were doing a pot of I forget chili or something,
Yeah,
man.
man. We made a couple pots of chili. Yeah.
Yeah, just stuff like that. I mean, I
Yeah.
look back at that all the dang time and I'm like, man, I wish I could go back and do it all again. And I think it's just the being together with, like I said, the like-minded people and the people like me that just sat there and enjoyed it. Because once that happens, it's gone and over, and it happens so fast.
Man, it does. And you got to value it. You got to cherish it.
You truly do, man. And
Yeah.
I think sometimes nowadays everybody's just individually, they're not self-centered, but they take things for granted. They don't enjoy what's right there in front of them.
Yeah. And we've lost that community sense. And we did.
Every
We
bit.
we still do in that program. It becomes a family.
It
And
does.
sometimes you look around and think, man, this is the most screwed up family I've ever been a part of. But at the end of the day, you're a family, right?
Yep.
So Dana, you graduated high school. And how old were you when you graduated? 17, 18.
Eh,
So you're 18 years old. You and I had talked about opportunity in Florida, Jacksonville, Florida, with a school, Tulsa Welding Academy.
Yes, sir.
And you made that decision, man. You made that jump to go train at Tulsa Welding Academy in Jacksonville, Florida. Tell me about that experience.
They
Another huge jump, man. Huge jump. This kid's not afraid of anything.
No, it was a huge jump for sure, and in the process, I had my whole family was moving from Ohio to Texas. That was a big transition for me, and meanwhile, that was happening. Same way as I said earlier, it was a big scary jump, man. It was truly I didn't know if I was trusting my gut. I didn't know what it was, but I had something drawing me there. And as you just said, I went from a town of 40,000 people down to a town of 880,000 people right there in Jacksonville, Florida. So it was definitely scary, but um it was an experience for me. I wanted to kinda get away from my family, from my friends and everything, and for sure, I absolutely hated it a few times, but in all reality, I think it's what really set me up to become the traveler and having the unknown out there. It was an experience. It was so much fun. I had good friends, same way as when I bounced into Laurel Oaks, I got to meet people from all over the countryside, man. I mean, a lot of Southerners, a lot of people from North that was wanting to go into refinery uh, I even met military guys that were coming back from being overseas and they had to get into a trade because they're like, I'm not gonna be able to make do with what I have now. So they came in and I just got to meet a lot of good experienced people down there. And same way I got to learn from phase one all the way to phase 12. And it's a long 6, 8 months. And to be living on my own when I've never done that, ever in my life, it was absolutely crazy.
That's
But
what I was going to say. Do you think, Dana, that you were saying that, that experience itself set you up for what you're doing now? Do you think it gave you the confidence? You're out on your own, man. You're making it on your own. I mean, that has to be a huge confidence booster as a young man. You know, you're going to school. Were you working down there?
Yeah, I was
That's what I
working at
thought.
Harp. Yeah, I was working a little bit down there.
Yeah, that's what I thought. You were working a little bit and going to school, and you were doing it on your own. And that's
Yep.
kind of, that's obviously what it's taken for you to pursue the career you have. So, anyway, let's go back. So, level run 1 through 12, what was that? What did that consist of?
It every each individual phase was like 3 weeks long, and of course, we'd go in, we'd have our little academic stuff, learning the trade itself, and then we'd
Mhm.
go right into a booth. And then most of the time, it was more in the booth welding, trying to learn how to, push a rod or flux core, whatever it may be. Um, I mean, like I said, the 3 weeks, it felt like, oh, it'd be so long, but man, it goes so fast. But in all reality, there again, it's teaching yourself. These instructors that are down there, they're very a high level education, but they rely on you going into your booth and learning yourself. They're not
Okay.
gonna hand and feed you everything. You have to learn on your own. They're gonna give you the tools necessary, but you have to go in there and teach yourself, if
You
that
mean
makes sense.
somebody's just not going to hand you six figures a year?
Yeah, no, hell
You've
no.
actually got to put
No,
something
hell
into it?
no. You gotta get in there and figure that shit out, man.
Yeah, man.
And some kids thought, "Oh, it's gonna be easy, man. I can get past this or that." No, you had to go in there and really weld, man.
So let me ask you this. Did your experience at Laurel Oaks help you at Tulsa?
Oh, every bit.
Good.
Every bit, man.
Good.
It
Good deal.
it it truly did, and it there again, because of my experience right there at Laurel, I got to phase in, meaning I got to start at phase 3. I didn't have to learn how, a rod just runs real flat and easy. No, I got to
Okay.
jump right in, to, "Hey, this guy knows what he's doing. We need to go ahead and, push past phase 3, and we need to put him right in because he already knows this experience."
That's
So,
awesome. Did it
yes.
save you any money?
Oh, yeah.
Sweet. That's even
Oh,
better.
yeah.
Can't beat that, right?
Nope, can't at
Good
all.
deal. So obviously, through your experience at Tulsa Welding Academy in Jacksonville, Florida, you met people, you met friends, you met and that's kind of that's one of my pitches to some of my kids that, I teach all kinds of students. Obviously, you had a great home life, very supportive parents. I've got students that don't have that. And
Yep,
one of my things, when I'm talking to that student, it's like, hey, get out of here, go to Jacksonville, Florida, go somewhere, go to Oklahoma, go to Wyoming. I guess everybody can put together the schools that I'm talking about here. Get away, go around, go be around like-minded people that are driven for the same thing you are, and and let that be a better start to that independent career that you're looking for. But you had, and people need to understand that you had all the support you needed around home. Your mom and dad are
yep,
very supportive people. Dad and mom are very, very involved in your life. Um, you weren't running from your family. You were wanting independence. That's what you were looking for, and you
yep.
found it there. So through these connections that you made there at Tulsa, one of them I'm sure had to be somebody connected to a job. What was that? Who led you in the direction you're in right now?
So it was actually a good buddy of mine. He lived down there in the panhandle of Florida. We hit it off. His name's Skylar Denny, actually.
Okay,
He was a little bit older than me, and I looked up to the guy. We all got along very well. We just had a lot of fun. We went fishing upon whatever, just having fun.
yeah,
He was actually he had prior experience. He was getting into the pipeline and whatnot. So we talked quite a bit about it, and I actually ended up leaving school a little bit early, because he was actually gonna get me out on job leave pretty much. But besides, besides that, he full on just meeting him there again, I didn't know a whole lot about him. I met a lot of guys in between, far in between that, like you said, has had families, have not had families, but the initiative to just go and find whatever I wanted was on myself, man.
yeah.
So having him be like, "Hey, man, I've never met you before," and then we hit it off real quick and easy. He's the same way. He hasn't had life easy. I don't think a lot of guys do, but it's what we make it. It's what we go out there and bust our ass for, man, and we earn it.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Do you find that pretty common in the industry you're in? That a lot of guys come from the same background, that we didn't have things handed to us. We didn't have it
Nope,
presented on a silver platter. We weren't spoon fed. We were made
nope.
to work. We were taught the value of work. And I think, most of the people that I run into on job sites, it doesn't matter what trade they're in, they have that same similar background.
The drive. Yep.
Yeah, I don't think anybody just wakes up one day and says, "Hey, I want to go bust my ass and fall into bed that night because I'm so tired I can't stand up anymore to make a living." I think it's programmed into us, Dana, and it was
It
obviously
is.
programmed into you by your parents. Your parents taught you incredible work ethic. Your dad, I
Yep.
mean, it doesn't matter, and this is the kind of legacy that as a young man, I want you to hear this. I talk to a lot of people locally, and in those conversations, and a lot of people, it's through social media now. They see me and they're like, "Hey, I've known Dana since he was 5 years old. What an incredible kid. I heard your story on social, on Facebook or whatever that may be." And I end up talking about your dad, Lee,
Hmm.
and everybody that knows him knew that man as one of the hardest working men they've ever known, and one of the kindest men they've ever known.
Yep.
I mean, that right there says everything. And not to undermine your mom by any stretch of the imagination. She's a phenomenal person, but with guys get together and they talk, we talk about things like work ethic. Those are the ways that we earn respect, man. That's our street cred with our fellow, male friends. That's our street cred. And when we talk about that work, man, your dad stands at the top. He's been known for that.
Yep.
That's your stock, man. Your stock of that.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Every bit.
That's awesome. So anyway, you found a job opportunity, and you've been with Landmark the entire career since you've been doing water towers.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Okay,
Six years.
and that was straight out of Tulsa, or what'd you do before then?
So right after Tulsa itself, so as I said, with my transition of my family moving to Texas, my grandmother, she was getting older in age and she had a little bit of problems. Right out of Tulsa, I was, like I said, leaving early. I was gonna go to do pipeline, and
Mhm.
I had that boy Skylar call me and say, "Hey, I can get you a job out here, whatnot." My grandmother ended up getting pretty sick, and I decided, you know what, I need to kind of stick around home. My dad and I we have a farm with about 20 head of cattle, and pipes need fixed and a lot of welding needed to be done, and I decided, you know what, I'm gonna stick around here. So I got a local job. I was working, 6, 7 days a week, just here and there intermittently, weekends, and building pipe fences and
Success. Sorry, man. I had to
six.
building pipe.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Anyway, I'm a high school teacher, dude. I had to do it.
yeah. No, I was gonna say, as soon as you start doing that, I knew what you were saying.
Anyway, you were building pipe fences. Sorry.
Pipe fences, barnuminiums.
Hey, is this when you were doing? You did some railing too?
Yes, a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, 5 rail. Yep, I did, and
Yeah.
that's there again. This is where I learned how to do it, how to cut them, how to everything, and then I passed this on to my father, as we were saying earlier. That's what I did for a little while, and then somebody in the company that knew my mother, some really best friends, they ended up contacting me at my sister's wedding and said, "Hey, man, you should check this out. They have a lot of pipe welding and stuff like that, structural welding. You should give it a try." And I looked into it, and the money itself, when I seen what they were hiring in at, I said, "You know what? I need to try this out."
And this was
And
Landmark.
and this was Landmark, yes, sir. They do the stainless steel pipe. They do stainless steel pipe welding, and that's where it really hit me. I was like, "Oh, I'd love to do that." And then sure enough, once I got into it, man, it just we do a lot of structural flux core stuff like that, and it hit it off right from there. So
So, do you still weld pipe there?
myself personally, no,
Okay. But you do
but
all the plumbing. The company does all the plumbing themselves.
yes, sir. Yep.
Okay. That's pretty cool. I didn't know that.
So
Very
yeah,
cool.
it's a big time thing, and I actually They they'd allow me to do it, but you'd also have there's a lot of other stuff you have to have. It's an insurance, and your own
Oh, I'm
rig,
sure.
your own consumables, and there again, I mean, it's but Landmark themselves, they provide everything else, as in what my department of what I do. So
That that's awesome. So we're going to get into your responsibilities right now at Landmark. We're going to get into that here soon. I want to
okay.
talk about, man, I'm sure you've done some rowdy things as a kid. I'm sure you got into some situations, but heights, man, what was it like the first water tower you built? And you're green, man. You're a green hand at the time, right? You're no top hand at the time. You're green as the grass. So
Great as you can
run
say.
let's go over that real quick. I want to hear what it was like the first build you were on.
For sure, should have needed a couple extra pair of underwear. first time climbing into a tank like that.
I've been there, man. I've been in this. I've been
Yeah.
in that situation.
Yep.
Prayers in the porta
It's
john.
every bit, man. Shaking worse than I've ever shooken in my life. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
But I tell you what, once you get over that fact of, being up inside of a tank, that first time it was scary. I
Yeah.
was tying off to everything and anything I could get my little hook on just to, just ensure my safety.
Oh yeah.
But the amount of progress that my company alone has come from, as in building scaffold, ensuring safety. I mean, our safety department is absolutely crazy. Not in a bad way either. They are very adamant about our workers and about our overall well-being of getting hurt on the job site, man.
As they should be. That's awesome.
Every bit.
Good.
Yeah, so
That's good. I'm glad to hear that, man. So, what was it that earned your, I guess, confidence? How did you get over that? I mean, you were never really scared of heights, were you? I mean, you were never really scared of heights to begin with.
little bit. I used to be, but then
Well,
starting out with this,
yeah, and then this is a whole nother level of heights, right? I mean,
yeah.
this is a couple hundred feet.
Yep. Okay. Well, my phase itself, we're about 60 to 80 foot in the air, but sometimes when we build them at the very, very top, we call it a top out. They'll be anywhere from 180 to 230 to 260 foot in the air.
That's unreal.
Yeah.
That's unreal. So that's a huge difference in just being, going on a hike and seeing a little ledge and looking over the edge as
Yeah. No.
opposed to working at that height every single day. How sore were your legs the first week?
Couldn't walk, man. The first day, after the first day, and I'll be honest, I got the cool side of it. I went from building what I do now, my as we call it the ground phase, to a top out. My second job ever, I went to do a top out, and I think that's
Wow.
what really broke what I thought of the height and everything. It totally broke that from me. I mean, there's been some situations where we've been up in there, and it's been scary as hell. And I even sat there for a second and thought, "What the hell am I doing?" But to be able to be way up above everybody else, and there's a lot of other trades, build skyscrapers and whatnot, but being up in a water tower itself, it just changed my whole perspective of everything. And it made me love what I actually do.
That's awesome, man. That is
It
awesome.
it is,
And
man.
you know what? That doesn't happen too often in somebody's career. Falling in love with what you do doesn't happen very often. And if you wake up every day, and Dana, I just know you personally enough to know that you're not gonna stick around and do something that you don't want to do every day. That
Nope.
you're independent in not only in the ways of, obviously living independently, but you're independent in your mind too. And that you don't have to be on somebody's hamster wheel. If you're not into what you're doing, the Dana Eichenhorst that I know just moves on to something else.
Yep.
And so Landmark must be doing something right to keep a good employee, good young man like you on board. You're 26 years old and you're the steel superintendent. Tell me about some of your responsibilities as a steel superintendent. And I want you to think of this in a couple different ways, okay? What are your responsibilities? What are your day-to-day responsibilities? And is that responsibility really tough because you're managing people that are older than you? How does that play into things? Tell me a little bit about that.
In my honest opinion, like you just said, me loving what I do is really, to me, my job. It gets hard at times. It's very stressful. Of course, that it comes with any trade. But I actually really enjoy what I do, so it makes it pretty easy. Even with, like you just said, the older generation. It's hard for these older generations to look back and look at, someone like me that is a young boy that thinks, I know everything, which I've won the respect of a lot of these older men. I
Good.
truly have. I'll tell you a story. My first crew that I ran, as a superintendent, I've got one man that is literally was turning 70 years old, and he's done this for, I don't know, 20, almost 30
Jeez.
years, man. And the drive that this man had was, I mean, unbelievable. I'm not joking. I could go on story about the man, but for me to be as young as I am, and for me to help these guys out and be, just be like-minded. And this
Yeah.
goes back to being like-minded around anybody you're with. We got along so damn well. They respected me, I respected them. Sometimes, yeah, you're gonna hit heads. It's a job site, you're gonna have that. But there's not a time where I can look back and be like, "Yeah, I thought about totally quitting, or I thought about totally leaving." These older men, they respect the hell out of me just because I do what I do and I take whatever I learn, and I try to figure out a way to make everything work, man.
That's
And
awesome.
Yeah, the responsibility is just it's endless. It's from scheduling trucks to keeping everybody's schedule on in line. I mean, we have to go back and forth, especially with traveling. There's some guys that are, hey, I need this or I need that, and I can't give it to them, but yet I still try to make it where everybody's comfortable and everybody's happy with it.
Yeah, and you're at the end of the day, man, with your crew, you're responsible for them going home safely that day. You're responsible for them making money. Obviously, you got to get your portion of the work done in a timely manner, or the company doesn't make money. Therefore, your employees don't make money. You
That's
don't make
exactly
money.
right.
So you've got a lot of responsibility on a day-to-day basis for a 26-year-old young man. But there is no doubt in my mind, if anybody can handle it, it's you. And I'm sure
Yep,
if I were to sit down and talk to any of the people that work under you, they would have nothing but good things to say about you as well. I'm
absolutely.
extremely positive of that. So in 2024, let's talk about this because this is a big milestone for you, man. This is a big milestone. The Grand Prairie Project was a massive 2 million gallon water tank. 2 million gallons. I can't even, if you hadn't sent me the video, which I'm going to play in the editing of all this, if you hadn't sent me the video, I mean, I would have no idea how to describe a 2 million gallon tank. And that thing is huge. Tell me a little bit about, first of all, it was a 2024 tank of the year, which
Yes,
meant
sir.
it stood, I don't know how many water tanks get built in a year in the United States, but I'm assuming it's quite a few, or it's got to be quite a few, because I
It,
mean, obviously we're building communities more and more, so I'm assuming that's a huge part of the infrastructure that needs to be put in, and so these things are going up all over the place. This project won the 2024 Tank of the Year. What made it so special to take that prize?
Myself personally is it was with the guys I work with. The crew that I started with, they're the ones that taught me everything I know, and they're the ones that actually pushed me right on up that ladder. During this time, this was me personally, this was my transition of, hey man, we know that you do good work and we're gonna move you right on up the ladder. And to me, I never expected that to happen so soon.
Okay,
That as well as that tank itself was my first one that I ever personally, as we call it a flat bar. It's the top fixture of metal that we weld together that holds all the lights that lights this tank up. So me starting, being on that tank, I thought, man, this is pretty cool. It's something I've never done. And then when it transitioned from that into, hey, we're putting probably the most money into a painting that's going to go on this tank. You guys have to make this tank look really pretty.
right?
That really made me think, I gotta take pride in what I'm doing, man. I can't just half-ass it and just totally blow it
Yeah,
out. I don't care about this or that. No, we had to really pay attention to what we were doing. And as I said, that all goes together with what I was as my transition was going up, I really thought, man, like, I gotta really put forth my best effort to do this. And then now, of course, it transitioned to being one of the tank of the years. And now I get to sit back and for the rest of my life be like, I built that tank.
that is incredible, and that is something, man, that about me personally. I've experienced that feeling of going about anywhere in the country, somewhere. I mean, most anywhere you go, I've got a story behind it. I've been there and probably built something somewhere around there. That feeling of being able to go buy a project that you've put your hands on and tell people that you've been a part of it is a big deal. And when your hands were one of the biggest components of the 2024 Tank of the Year, man, at 26 years, well, no, at the time, what, 24?
24.
At 24 years old, dude, that is a huge accomplishment for any young man. That is a huge
It is.
accomplishment and definitely something every young person getting into the trades needs to strive for. That's phenomenal,
I
man. That's awesome. I'm proud of you for that. And
appreciate
so
it.
you move on from that, and I'm assuming, Dana, I'm sure you might not be real comfortable speaking on this, but there's only a few companies out there doing water towers.
There's
And
not
a
many.
young huh?
There's not many
Yeah,
companies out there.
yeah. And a young man that's 26 years old is running work and doing a great job of it has to be getting the attention of other companies. You ever been
Absolutely.
solicited? Anybody ever gotten a hold of you and said, "Hey,
Not particularly, but I do know my boss himself. He is a higher up boss. I'll put it that way. He's done this for years on end and years on end, and my name's been passed around a few times. And I'll be honest, He's been with a lot of different companies, and he ended up leaving a while back and then coming right back to here. And I know that it'd been a phone call away, and he could have been like, "Hey, you need to get your ass over here and work." I mean, yeah,
Yep.
they know my name's been passed around a few times.
I'll bet it has. Let's talk about that real quick. Because what does that do for you as a young person, knowing that, I mean, if you wanted to stay with water towers, you literally, you
Yep.
never have to worry about having a job ever. I
No,
mean,
absolutely not.
and what is that like as a young person? What does that allow you to do? What kind of freedom's there for that?
It either way I wanna take it, let me put it that way. If I wanna go with another company, if I wanna stay local, if I pretty much anything, man, it's opened the door to so many different things.
Yeah,
And there again, I haven't had that mindset of, "Hey, I'm gonna leave and get out of here," but in all reality, if I could make a phone call tomorrow, if I were my situation over here wasn't I didn't like it, I could literally call tomorrow and be anywhere that I wanted to be.
that's awesome. And honestly, it's the job of employers to make sure that we're offering incentive that keeps young people within our companies. And I'm
Yeah.
assuming that this company is not just giving you titles and keeping you at the same pay they hired you in at. I mean, these responsibilities come along with a substantial pay increase. We're not going to talk about specific numbers, Dana, but if you could give me a ballpark. You in the six figures?
Easy. Yes, sir.
How long have you been in the six figures?
Probably about 3 years.
So since you were 22, 23 years old, you've been making six figures a year.
Yes, sir.
What are you doing to plan for the future with that kind of money?
Me personally, buying property,
There you go.
trying to set up for life. I mean, just trying to rack it up as much as I can, man. That's my all-time goal is I'm eventually want to get married, have a couple kids, settle down, and in all reality with you, Wolf, I want to pass down what my father taught me, and I want to be just as good as a man as he was, and that is my
Dude,
ultimate goal.
I hope you hear that, Lee. Hear that loud and clear. The boy wants to be just like you, and I would too. Um, done a phenomenal job with you. So you talk about wanting to settle down. What's that look like? Because, buddy, I don't know that I could ever picture you settled down. I mean, settle down. I don't understand what that means. You're talking about a house, right? With a
Yeah.
wife and some kids running around. Are you gonna be running your own thing at that point, maybe? Or what do you want to do? What are you thinking?
I honestly, I don't know. Running my own thing would be very nice. I know I could make do with whatever whatever's handed to me. But in all reality, I know quite a few guys in my industry still nowadays. Even the engineer of my company, he's a very very high up man. He has grandkids even now. He's got kids. He's already had his kids. His grandkids are about to start, growing up. He still does this stuff too, man. He travels not as much. He's a lot more local, but he still does travel a lot. And in all reality, that's kind of what I'm pushing for and what I'm wanting. I don't think it's ever going to be, I'm never going to get that out of me as in the traveling and the seeing the new places and being everywhere. Man, it's something I grew up with and I absolutely love it. And
Yeah.
sometimes I hate it. I mean, you're gonna have that in anything, but you're right. You don't see me settling down, but I'll settle down a little bit. I'll put it that way.
That's a little bit better because when you said that, I'm thinking, nah, probably not. He might think he's going to.
No.
Yeah. So one of the things that I think people would find interesting about you is that you have several ways to decompress when you're not building water towers and you're out. You've clocked out for the day. What's an evening look like for you, man? And then we'll get into the weekends later.
Me, it's honestly just. I'll be honest. I'm very family orientated. I love to be around family and spend time with them. I mean, traveling, going places, camping, fishing, all that. That's my biggest thing. Is outdoors, man. Is just I get away from work. I go hunting. I do a lot of time hunting and fishing. I get into a lot of different tournaments, whether it's fishing, hunting, whatnot. That's my getaway, man. But I think there again, the traveling though, I'm always all over the place. Even if I'm not working, man, that highway and I've got to have a very good thing together. I don't know what it is, but just driving, man, sometimes is
Yeah.
is my decompress. That's how I get away.
And I see those pictures at 3 a.m. driving into a city in Texas in your, I'm assuming you still have a Mustang.
I still do, but I drive a truck now,
Okay,
thankfully.
you got a truck now, but you still got the Mustang.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you're driving into town at 3 a.m. I see those posts all the time. Are you driving and thinking? What are you doing at 3 a.m. driving around?
It's usually when I'm at 3, 4 in the morning, I post a picture, it's usually me coming back from work or going to work. And
Okay.
and no joke, tonight, literally I have to drive back down to San Antonio, which is about a 4.5 hour drive. And that's gonna be my leave around 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. I do it every damn time.
Mm, mm.
But
Get it out of your system while you're young, man.
yeah.
Come on. Come on. Get that out of the system. So I want you to tell me, and you pretty much already have. You've been you've been very adamant about your entire life, actually. You've been the kind of person that if somebody tells you you can't do something, you immediately want to do it. I swear, Dana, if I put a red button in the middle of a table and it says do not push, you're going to be the kid smashing the button to find out what happens. You're that type of person. When somebody says, "I'll bet you can't do it," you're one of those type of people that I mean, you take the challenge and run with it.
Yep.
I want you to give me a specific for instance, when have you been met with that challenge of somebody telling you can't do something in industry? What was that
Mhm.
challenge? And how'd you overcome that?
So my biggest to relate to that, I think, is the way my boss actually kind of taught me and showed me things. And this goes back to my father always he used to always say, I used to always try to prove somebody right when they think I couldn't do it. They didn't believe in me, I'm gonna make them believe.
Yeah.
So in all reality, my boss, when I first started, man, he used to give me shit back and forth all the time, and we'd go at it. And he'd always be like, "You can't get this done. You can't get this task at hand done in this amount of time. I bet you can." And I'd always sit there and be like, "All right." It just makes me grind even harder to get that task done so I can prove him wrong. And it's not about an ego thing either. That's just the way, like I said, my father's always taught me. But even in today's instance, man, I try to outdo all these other steel superintendents and guy and crews out here. And it's not like I want to sit there and brag about it and be like, "Oh, I'm better than you." Hell no, man. We're a
No.
brotherhood out here, man. I'm not joking. We all call each other, we talk to each other. So I'm not sitting there saying I'm going to be better than you. No, I just want to outdo you
Mhm.
and prove, hey, look, we all do the same things, but
And that's
my bu-
personal. That's something you
yeah,
don't have
it
to be
is.
braggadocious about. That's something you tuck right here in this front pocket and move on with a smile on your face about.
That's
And there's
it,
nothing
man.
wrong with that. It's the same thing that we teach, that we talk about in lab. It's that competitive edge that I preach to you guys over and over in lab about. It's at some point you're going to be competing with the guy or girl next to you for a job. And
It's
who's
literally
taking home
it.
the paycheck? I mean, having a competitive edge is vital to success. And let's talk about success for a minute. And everybody's got a definition of that in their own right. I get it. I understand that. But let's talk about the ability to be able to look at somebody and recognize success or see greatness in that person. And I'm just going to make this the brief story about you and my high school class because a lot of people have heard it. But Dana was cleaning horse stalls to make side money. How many of those comments you read on like TikTok and stuff is like, that's the problem with this world. An 18-year or a 17-year-old kid don't need to be working at 11 o'clock at night. And I'm thinking, you guys have no idea who this kid is, who his parents are. Yeah, man. And where you're from. We get the work in when we can, bud, and we make it
Whenever we
happen.
can.
That's exactly right. So anyway, Dana's working at a local equestrian center. Work starts at 11 o'clock at night. It goes to like 4 o'clock in the morning. And you correct me if I'm hitting any of this wrong, but this is just what my memory serves. And Dana, as he is in this interview, you can see his enthusiasm. He's very energetic, always has been, and was in my lab. So when he's coming in on like a Tuesday, I think it was either Tuesday or Wednesday. I can't remember. It was an off day. It was like you went in on Monday night and came in on Tuesday morning, dragging ass or something like that. I can't remember.
Yep.
Pretty sure that's what it was. These Tuesday mornings, you would come in just dog tired. And that's not the Dana that I knew, and I'm like, what in the world's going on? I knew it's not drugs. I knew it's not home life. Something else is happening. What is it? So when I finally ask you, you're like, I'm cleaning horse stalls at a local equestrian center and you're making great money at the time, weren't you? I mean, dude,
Yeah,
for
hella
a high
hella
school
good
kid,
money.
Yeah, man, you were making a good clip, bud. So you're going in and working all these hours, and then you had another crew that had like teamed up,
Mhm.
and they were getting more stalls than you,
Yep.
and you were losing money. So Dana walks in, 16-year-old, 17-year-old Dana walks in with his old busted ass scoop shovel and a brand new scoop shovel. And he looks at me and he goes, "Hey, Wolf, I need your help." I said, "Okay, what are we doing?" He goes, "Well, I'm getting my ass kicked at work." And I said, "All right." And you go, "I'm losing stalls because there's four of them together cleaning stalls, and it's me by myself, and I need your help fixing this shovel so I can get more stalls." I said, "Dana, how in the world is fixing this shovel going to get you more more stalls to clean?" And you're just as serious as you could be. Looked right at me and said, "I'm going to cut the sides off of my new scoop shovel and weld the sides on of my old scoop shovel to make a bigger scoop shovel so that I could shovel more shit at a time and get those stalls back." And I started this story talking about success. And I want to relate that to the success of anybody in skilled trades. Dana, you are the definition of what it takes to be successful in the skilled trades. It's that attitude, it's that mindset, buddy. The attitude that, yeah, I got kicked in the teeth, but I'm going to get you back. I'm going
Yeah.
to figure out a way to get that money back. You may have beat me now, but I'm coming back for you. Man, that is every bit of the attitude that it takes to be successful in doing what we do.
Yes, sir, it does.
And I'm gonna take a clip out of this and I'm gonna pin it to the story on I'm gonna pin it to the top on all the Speaking of Skilled Trades podcast stuff. And I'm gonna leave it there because I feel like your story, bud, is that important. When you said this is how I'm going to get my stalls back, it wasn't about revenge. It wasn't about going and slashing
Mm-mm.
somebody's tire in a parking lot. It wasn't about beating anybody up so they weren't able to work that night. None of that came into play. The first thing that came to your mind was, how am I going to improve myself to get back at this?
Yep.
And man, that is a quality that we just simply don't have in our youth anymore. And
Nope.
that is why you've done such an incredible job at earning the respect of the men that work for you and with you. Uh, you're such a breath of fresh air, man. When we see what's going on in our youth today, and I'm going to tell you, just like I did a guest last night, we own that. Guys my age, we own this problem that we complain about all the time. Well, these kids are lazy and they're not. That's not true. That's not true at all. I got
Mm-mm.
kids like Dana Eichenhorst all the time. You're not lazy, man. You just need somebody to
Mm-mm.
motivate you. In your situation, you didn't. You had that motivation already. But kids like you, they just dying for that opportunity to be motivated and make
Yep.
something of themselves. So, I'm looking at that and I'm saying, first of all, there's a ton of hope out there for employers that may be listening to this. There's young people out there like Dana that are out there
Okay.
waiting for an opportunity. And I think that highlights a lot of very important things in industry. Opportunity that kids like Dana can take control of. They don't need a
Yep.
piece of paper saying they can. This kid can do it. And there's plenty more out there just like you, man. And that story alone, you know, I want you to go ahead and just, I know I've taken most of the story, and it's just something that I'm passionate about. It's something I really
Mhm.
enjoy telling because I remember it like it was yesterday.
Yep.
And I want you to tell me what you were thinking about at that time when you were getting your teeth kicked in, losing stalls, losing money. What brought about that idea? What made you want to do that?
In all honesty, I had to pay for my own things. As I said, I haven't had a thing handed to me. I've had a little help along the way, but my biggest thing was making sure that I could still get to school. I had diesel fuel to put in my damn truck to make it there too, you know, turn it into something like this. To be able to go to a skilled trade that was handing me things is in the knowledge and the experience of what you had to offer. That was my biggest thing, man. Yeah, it sucked ass driving to school and being tired all day. But you know what? My dad looked at me and said, "Hey, I know you went to work and made money, but you're still going to school." So that and in all honesty, I just wanted to outwork everybody. And it wasn't a big bragging thing either. The Mexican guys looked at me and they're like, "We like that white boy. We can't keep up with him no more after I did that shovel." So that that was my biggest thing, man, was truly was just I want to try to outwork everybody and not in a demeaning way either.
Right? Yeah. I mean, that's respectable, man. That's the way it's done, honestly. And that's the only way. And that's how you go to bed, lay your head on the pillow, sleep just fine at night, knowing that your hustle got you to where you're
Yep.
at. Had nothing
That's
to
it.
do with a handout, had nothing to do with somebody giving something to you. It had nothing to do with you taking something. It's had everything to do with you earning it every step of the way.
Earning
Whether it
it.
was, yeah, whether it was the skill that you acquired, you had to earn it. And you worked your
Yep.
ass off in the booth in my program. I'm sure you did the same at Tulsa. And I know you're doing the same where you're at right now. I'm sure you've done that with everybody you've worked around or worked with. You've worked your ass off and have been a leading example of what it takes to set the pace for a job, of what it takes to lead somebody to the same end goal, because that's what it takes to be a steel superintendent, right? You got to lead an
That's
entire
important.
crew of men to the same goal. I mean,
Yep.
that's not, and when you talk about the kind of men that you're leading, I know those kind of guys, and they're not
Yep.
the easiest in the world, right? It's a
Hell
whole
no, they're
different
not.
breed, buddy. And for you to have the respect that you do now, it just speaks volumes of who you are as a person. That's for sure. And I'm certainly proud of you in the position you're in. Honestly, Dana, I look forward to the stuff you're going to be doing in the future, man. This is
Oh,
I'm very excited for you. Hey, we're gonna
great.
get
Appreciate it.
we're gonna give you some rapid fire questions real quick. This is a fun way to kind of wind things down a little bit. Um, all right, Dana. On the job site, you got your preferences at a 70-18 or 60-10.
Myself personally, what we do 60-10.
Okay. What
I like 60-10.
what size 60-10 you running?
Between 532 and 3/16. It just
Okay.
depends on the thickness that we're running with.
What's an amperage on that three?
No, hell, 160,
Mm,
165.
that's
Yeah,
burning hot for 60-10,
we're
huh?
we're throwing down big old dimes on there, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
you are. Yeah,
yep.
you are. I don't know that I've ever ran a 60-10 that hot.
Yeah, we burn them hot, man.
Good. It's awesome. Favorite brand of welding machine?
Ooh, I'll be honest, but I run a Miller. I
Okay.
do like my Millers. I've got a Miller Bobcat itself. I've burned all kinds of stuff, but on my job site itself, I don't know why them Lincolns, man. I tell you what, they top the edge over the Miller. I do love the Lincolns. They're the way they burn. I love
Yeah.
them.
So you mentioned you're running a Bobcat at the house. Are you guys running Rangers on the job site, or what are you running?
We got I think they're all I can't remember. They're Flex Techs, I believe.
Okay.
They're Lincolns. Yeah, we've got 4 in each weld pack, and they're big machines, but we have them all confined into a little cage that we all welded in, so that way nobody can take them. But yeah, we got all every bit
Gotcha.
of eight of them at a time on a job
So
site,
you're talking about you've got inverters then.
pretty much.
Okay, gotcha. You're not running gas drive
No, no, yeah,
individual welders.
I got a damn generator that'll run a whole city block if I had to, and then that's
That's
what
awesome.
runs all the power to them.
And
So
that runs all the weld packs that you're running. Okay.
yep, weld packs, our office power,
Okay.
everything. Yep.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. We'll leave it as a very political mix between the two.
They're both badass, but I will say them Lincolns burn a little bit smoother.
Man, I can hear some brand deals coming your way, brother. Yeah. So heights. You love it, or is it just part of the job, man?
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it, man.
The adrenaline?
Love the adrenaline of it and just being up there and being like that. Like I'm doing this. I'm one of a very few that come up here and do this stuff. That's
Yeah.
what I love about it.
And I don't know that anybody will ever be where you're at ever again.
Nope.
Ever. I mean, that's just
Sit
incredible thing to think about, right?
to be able to sit on top of a water tower while you're welding, as we weld our floor sheets on the very top. To be able to sit there right on the edge with your legs damn near dangling over the top and look out over the countryside, houses upon houses, city, towns, everything. Just to be able to sit up there and be able to be, I don't know, to me it's peaceful. It's just
Oh
be up
man.
there. It
And I'm
is. It's
assuming you're
something
getting to
else.
see some of these big sky sunsets while this is going on.
Beautiful.
Yeah, man.
All across the country, man. It's absolutely insane.
Can't get that view from an office.
No, sir, you
That's
cannot.
exactly right. All right. So what's best barbecue you found while traveling?
Definitely down here in Texas, man. Sorry to
Oh, come
say.
on. You got
Everywhere
it?
else.
Texas has got it, huh?
Oh yeah, right now
All
down
right.
in San Antonio, Black's barbecue, the best.
All right. All right. I gotta find out for myself. I got some business in Texas this summer, so I'll be finding out for myself. Maybe I'll get a hold of you. You can show me exactly where to go. We can
You just
spend some
let me
time.
know.
All right. So what's the first thing you do when you get on a new job site?
First thing I do is you just check out everything. I mean, depends on where we're at. My biggest thing is seeing, the houses and everything around. We make a lot of noise, man. But in all reality, it's meeting whoever else is there. Mostly the city inspectors and whatnot that are coming and going. I mean, I can't tell you how many people on a job site at one time. I don't remember names very well because
Man.
there's so many of them. But that's the biggest thing is just getting the layout of it, man.
Yeah. And that first initial meeting with those people are key, isn't it? When,
It is
especially when
just
you're first shaking the hands of the inspector that's going to be in charge of that entire job. A
yep,
young guy with a good smile like you, man, is important because that getting on their
every
good
bit.
side is a very important thing to do. That's for sure. They can make or break your job, can't they?
Oh, they can trust me, and I've been in both. I've been on both sides when they're
I'll
pretty
bet you have.
easy and
Don't piss
lenient.
off the inspectors.
Hell no, man. Nope. It's a whole. You're opening a can of worms when you do.
Yes, sir. So, music in your truck, you rocking some country? You got some rock and roll on. What are you listening to?
Country all the way, man.
Okay,
I've always been country, but hell, this red dirt down here in the South, all these new style artists that are coming up, they all come from down here, man.
okay. Who's your favorite so far? Who's your favorite right now?
I don't know, man. There's a lot. I definitely say Randy Rogers is a good one. I've listened to him for a long time, but
Yeah.
Co Wetzel, he's a little bit more of a pop country, and it's
Okay.
I don't know, it goes right into what I'm dealing with in life.
Who kind
So
of relates to your lifestyle then?
yes, sir.
That's what makes music music, man. Whatever makes it relevant to you. That's awesome.
That's it.
In your mind, Dana, what's the most essential piece of PPE on the job site?
Definitely glasses, man. And you were the one that actually taught me that one day you sat there and talked to all of us kids and you said, "These 2 eyes right here that you look around and you do everything with, they are gonna feed you for the rest of your life, and you only got 1 eye on each side, and if you ruin those, you're not gonna be able to make money." I mean, there's ways too, but still, I'd definitely say safety glasses, man. It's the biggest thing
Absolutely.
out here.
Haven't met too many successful blonde welders.
Yeah, no, I haven't either.
Those are pretty important. I'm glad you're still holding on to that.
And
Huh?
yeah.
So, what's that?
I said, I tell you what, having your eye drilled out is not fun. I've done it one time, and it's not that I ever planned it, but I plan on never going back to get it drilled out again, man.
You had something embedded?
Yep, it was embedded pretty well. Yep, and it
That's
was
terrible.
not fun.
Man, if anybody's never seen that, look it up. It's not a pretty picture, and I'm sure it's not a pretty picture watching that thing come straight for your eyeball.
Yeah,
You have no choice but to look.
if you don't like getting your teeth drilled out, just imagine taking that right up to your eye. That's really
Mm.
what it is.
All right, we're
It
moving on
is.
to the
It's
next
not
question
fun,
because my eye's hurting now. That's ridiculous. Dadgum. That sounds like a Saw movie or something.
dude. Yeah,
That's
it's
exactly
bad.
what it needs to be. Like Final Destination,
Yep,
the doctor's hand slips. Oh, that's terrible.
yep.
I'm not all right. Moving on to the next question. This is going to take that away real quick. Hunting and fishing. Which one is the real reset? When you're hunting down some hogs, or you're hunting down some man, there's not a coyote or a hog safe around this kid. All of Texas better be on notice when this kid's out hunting for coyotes or hogs. You prefer fishing or hunting?
I definitely do hunt, man.
Yeah.
The shooting, whether we're thermal hunting, shooting pigs, or I've gotten really big into right now is the bow fishing, man. We do a lot of bow fishing down here.
All right. I'm definitely hitting up. We're definitely hooking up over the summer then because I've been dying to bow fish off the front of a boat. Are you using boats, right?
Airboat, yeah. I'm
Airboat.
actually I'm working on one right now. I'm welding it.
Are you really?
Yes, sir. I'm not
Get that
joking.
sucker done and let's go.
All right, come on. Whenever you come down, we'll go.
Heck yeah, man. That is awesome. Yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely look forward to that for sure.
Yep.
So, the one tool in your bag that you've never let anybody borrow. You can't take a risk on not getting it back. What's that one tool that you're not borrowing off of Dana?
Mm, I'd say I don't know. Tape measure is my biggest thing in all reality. Measuring, doing things like that. I've got one tape measure I've had for a long time. It usually sits in my hard hat. That's the only thing you can't get away from me. I do not usually don't let it go. Every now
Yeah.
and then it gets thrown around, but I've had one in my truck and on my hard hat that I've had for a long damn time. So
Okay. Okay.
that and that and something easy, gloves. Gloves the biggest thing, man. I'm always doing something or picking something up.
Yeah. Fixed shade or auto darkening?
Me personally, I like fixed shade. just because everybody's taking mine out because I don't weld as much anymore. They're taking mine out or darkening out all the time. So I like fixed shade a lot better.
Yeah, especially out in the conditions, right?
It never can go wrong.
Nothing ever fails on a fixed shade. That's
No,
for
sir, they
sure.
don't.
How many states would you say you've worked in so far?
Yeah, shit, probably at least 46 to 48. Now, I haven't been to Alaska or Hawaii. I haven't been to that one yet.
26 years old. 46 or 48. Lost count. Lost count.
Working in fully, I guarantee it's over 30, but I've been to a lot of damn states just traveling back and forth to job sites, man. From all the way Washington all the way, I mean anywhere you can say. East Coast, West Coast, we've been all around, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Dana, what piece of advice do you have for somebody looking into the trades in that capacity? What would your one piece of advice be for that young person looking into this?
My advice is find the good in everybody, man. You're gonna come across the good and the bad. You're gonna have guys that are complete assholes that don't give you any respect. But my biggest thing is learn and experience something from everybody. It doesn't matter if you put somebody up on a pedestal and you think they're the greatest ever, or if you got your whatever coworker that completely treats you like shit. Just find the good in everybody. You can learn something from everybody.
Absolutely.
That's my biggest thing, man. I've been across so many different states and towns and places and met so many people, and I've always tried to find the good in somebody. Even if they're not the best of good, find something you can learn from.
I believe that wholeheartedly about you, young man. I'm sure you do that. On that note, what would be something that you need to possess that you need to be good at? It could be a soft skill, it could be hand-eye coordination. What is that thing that you need to be good at in order to be good at what you do as a welder, as a superintendent? And it doesn't even have to be one thing. What can you list? We can even go further into that. List some things that you need to be good at to be able to do the job that you do.
I definitely say is being kind of a, and like you just said, like I can talk to people, like being able to talk to anybody.
Yeah.
Just having a good head on your shoulders and not, like I said, not being no don't be bragging all the time. Like I've got guys and kids all the time. Oh, I'm better welder than you or this or that. It don't matter. I can pull somebody out that can weld like total shit but pass an X-ray. It's trying to be the best that you can. I mean, like I said, finding the best in everybody.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. And that really that goes hand in hand with your attitude towards everything you approach, honestly. You try to find the best in everything that you've ever done. I couldn't remember a single time. And when I go to talk to people like you, Dan, I try to look back and I think about the times that I shared with you and everything else. And I can't honestly think of a single time that I saw you mad, upset. I mean, I know that you got aggravated,
Oh yeah.
especially when Tyler could TIG weld way better than you. I saw you get mad then. You come out like, this bullshit, Wolf. He walks
Is it-
right into the TIG booth and is already TIG welding better than me. And I've been at this for 3 weeks now.
yep,
Hey,
every
all,
bit.
all Tyler had to do was sing Chris Stapleton to himself under the hood, and he had it. That's all he had to do. But
That's
no,
it,
man.
man.
Yeah. So in all reality, dude, I've never seen you in down spirit ever. And that kind of goes, that goes right in line with, I left the video on Facebook. I closed that video out and it was something that really hit home to me. And it was and it really speaks volumes. And the moral of the story with you and shoveling the shit was life's going to throw you
Hey,
some shit. And when it
yep.
does, be a Dana Eichenhorst and build a bigger shovel, man.
Build a bigger
That's the
shovel,
only way
man.
to get back at life, dude. And I love
Yep.
that. I love that saying. I love the story. I love your mindset. I love everything about what you're doing right now. Dana, this is Dana Eichenhorst. He's a 26-year-old steel superintendent for Landmark Structures, former student of mine in the welding metal fabrication program at Laurel Oaks, part of the Great Oaks District. Inspiration from his dad and his grandfather. Very tight-knit family man. Just an absolute pleasure to have on the show, Dana. Again, thank you so much for taking the time and sharing your story with me and everybody else. And again, next time you're in town, I hope you join me right here in the studio and we can do this again and cover some new stuff that you've been going through and getting done, and maybe some new advancements that you've had in your life. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and tag Dana and all these social media stuff. I want you to go check him out, give him a follow, give his videos some likes. And Dana, keep those videos coming, man, because I couldn't tell you how many students that I have now in my class that follow you. And you graduated how many years ago? 6 years ago, something like that.
Yes.
And these kids know you by name, dude. Some of them even call you. Right.
Yep,
Some
they
of them
do.
have even found a way to get a hold of you and and call you, which you're an inspiration to them, man. And keep doing what you're doing, Dana. This world needs more Dana Eichenhorst.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Will, for the opportunity to give a call and just try to push this down to other kids, man. That's all I can say to them is you can go as far as you want to go. It's all about your initiative.
I,
You can you can make it out here.
yeah, you definitely can. You're proof of that. Well, buddy, I think we've got enough there. And I really do appreciate you jumping on here, Dana.
Well, thank you
Always
so
good to
much,
talk to you,
Mr.
man. Look
Wilson.
at you. You got the mustache going and everything. Look, you're almost there, brother. Huh?
Yeah, I ain't gonna be there now. Hey, I
Yeah,
stopped shopping at Baby Gap. I tell you that much for all my buddies watching. I stopped shopping at Baby Gap. All right.
that's it. Hey, man,
Hell.
you stay safe out there, okay?
All right. Thanks so much, Wolf.
And
I
next time
appreciate
you're
you.
in town, hit me up. Let's get together, do dinner.
Yeah, I'll definitely be up here soon, man. I appreciate you.
Always good talking to you. Have safe travels, Dana. Until we see you again, man, stay safe.